माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवर धारी गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय गौरांगी बेंगलूरीश्वर गौरांगी बेंगलूरीश्वर गौरांगी जय जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शना जय निताय चैतन्य जय निताय चैतन्य निताय चैतन्य जय निताय चैतन्य जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय अनंत देव जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमद अभय चरणार रविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्यामकुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। व्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय। मथुरा धाम की जय। द्वारका धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर भक्त प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Sri Gauranga. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Hari Om Tat Sat. So we welcome all devotees for this Saturday morning Srimad Bhagavatam class at Srivasanga chapter of ISKCON Seshadevuram. So today we are asked to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, the creative impetus, and chapter 24 within that, which is the subterranean heavenly planets. So we will recite the first verse in Sanskrit as usual, and then the rest of the verses we will see the English translation. I will share the screen. श्रीशुक उवाच अधस्तात् सुवितिर्योनयायुते स्वर्भानुर्नक्षत्रवच्चरितिति एके यो अश्व अमरत्वं गृहत्वं चालाभते भगवत् अनुकम्पया स्वयं असुरपसदः समिहिकेयो हि अतद् अर्हस् तस्य तथा जन्म कर्माणि चोपरिष्ठात् वक्षयामः. Translation. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, "My dear king, some historians, the speakers of the Puranas, say that 10,000 yojanas, 80,000 miles, below the sun is the planet known as Rahu, which moves like one of the stars. The presiding deity of that planet, who is the son of Simhika, is the most abominable of all Asuras. But although he is completely unfit to assume the position of a demigod or planetary deity, he has achieved that position by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Later, I shall speak further about him." So this chapter is the description of the Bhumandala, the subterranean planet which consists of the Earth and the below planetary system. That is what we are going to be looking at. We are going to be looking at the first 18 verses of this chapter. So it we already saw this Jambudvipa, and from the Jambudvipa, how the Sumeru mountain is in the center of that, and then the surrounding, the different expansions of the universe around Jambudvipa we saw in detail, and how different layers of there is milk ocean, there is water ocean, then there is different oceans like I think we even saw some intoxicating ocean there, like that. Then comes that towards the end of that, that circle of that is the subterranean planets, where we are now seeing the sun, the moon, and the other planetary system, including Earth there. So here everything is being talked in relation to Earth, how the sun is where it is in relation to Earth, the moon where it is in relation to Earth. Like that, today's other planetary systems or other planets in relation to Earth, where they are, is being discussed. So we are now going to see the position of this Rahu and Ketu, and this is the first verse that we discussed. Now let's see the next two verses. The sun globe, which is the source of heat, extends for 10,000 yojanas or 80,000 miles. The moon extends for 20,000 yojanas or 1,60,000 miles. And Rahu extends for 30,000 yojanas or 2,40,000 miles. Formerly, when nectar was being distributed, Rahu tried to create dissension between the sun and moon by interposing himself between them. Rahu is inimical towards both the sun and the moon, and therefore he always tries to cover the sunshine and moonshine on the dark moon day and full moon day. So here some details about Rahu Ketu is being given. Specifically Rahu here has been given here. And we all know these two planets, Rahu and Ketu, they are very crucial in one's planetary, the horoscope, the Jatak, they say that. And this is supposed to be a demon, this Rahu is a demon. The story is here mentioned that, during that nectar distribution time, when the churning of the ocean happened, at that time, so many different ingredients came out from from underneath the ocean, and one of the final thing was the nectar, which is called Amaratvam. That means the immortality, the so-called immortality. So the devatas were all very eager to become immortal because they just want to enjoy life. And of course the Asuras naturally also, in fact Asuras have more inclination to enjoy life than the Devatas in one sense, if you really see, because the Devatas at least don't go attacking other people to get what they want, but the Asuras go attacking other people to get what they want, or take away things from the other people. So they are Asuras, but more definition of Asuras we will see in a later verse probably. So this demon, his name was something else. It was not Rahu Ketu, but later it became Rahu Ketu. But anyway, that demon, because naturally Lord Vishnu did not want to give this Amrita to these demoniac people, so this Mohini incarnation and all that is there. But nonetheless, when the nectar was being offered to all the devatas, they are all sitting like how we sit for prasadam, right? We all sit in a row. One after the other, we sit side by side like that. So they were all sitting Mahaprasade Govinde, they were having that. At that point in time, this Asura, disguised as a Devata, he comes in between the sun and moon and tries to sit there. And it creates whatever, and of course he's a very powerful demon. So maybe Prabhupada writes in the next thing and all that, he attacks these sun and moon. It is, Prabhupada writes like that. But anyway, he comes and sits inside in between them and tries to create this one, and they naturally call him out. Like, they try to say that, oh, this is an Ashura but disguised as a, demigod. So when they do that, then immediately Lord Vishnu, he takes out his Sudarshan Chakra and immediately releases that towards this demon. And the Sudarshan Chakra comes and cuts his neck off. So the head goes away separately, the body goes away separately. And because, in the process, what do you call, the nectar was served and it touched his lip. He even tried to put it inside and it touched his lip. As a result of that, he sort of got that, you can say immortality or whatever. So when the head was cut, they still remained alive. So the head was one portion, the body was one portion. The head became Ragu and the body became Ketu. So the problem is the sun and the moon, they actually exposed him. Otherwise he could have remained happily and he could have become an immortal Asura. But somehow because of their interjection, that because of they called out his bluff, and because of which he had to be, I can't say killed, because he was dissected, and therefore he bears a grudge against these two, sun and moon. And therefore you can see that there is, we talk about this eclipse and all that we will, I think we will see in the next verse, we will see that, and that is the background of this particular planet. And it has been mentioned, this planet is actually the moon, the sun, and then this Rahu planet is there, and later below that actually comes the sun. That is the point that is being mentioned. We will see the next verse where I think Prabhupada talks about this. So the next verse, after hearing from the sun and moon demigods about Rahu's attack, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu engages his disc known as the Sudarshana Chakra to protect them. The Sudarshana Chakra is the Lord's most beloved devotee and is favored by the Lord. The intense heat of its effulgence, meant for killing non-Vaishnavas, is unbearable to Rahu, and he therefore flees in fear of it. During the time Rahu disturbs the sun or moon, there occurs what people commonly know as an eclipse. So Prabhupada is writing, I will read the purport also. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is always the protector of his devotees, who are also known as demigods. The controlling demigods are most obedient to Lord Vishnu, although they also want material sense enjoyment, and that is why they are called demigods, or almost godly. Although Rahu attempts to attack both the sun and the moon, they are protected by Lord Vishnu. Being very afraid of Lord Vishnu's chakra, Rahu cannot stay in front of the sun or moon for more than a muhurta. A muhurta is defined as 48 minutes. The phenomenon that occurs when Rahu blocks the light of the sun or moon is called an eclipse. The attempt of the scientists of this earth to go to the moon is as demoniac as Rahu's attack. Of course, their attempts will be failure because no one can enter the moon or sun so easily. Like the attack of Rahu, such attempts will certainly be failures. So the point made here is this Rahu Ketu. Rahu is very an asura and is inimical to the demigods. And Prabhupada writes very interestingly, the demigods are actually very obedient to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But at the same time, they also have a lot of desire for sense gratification. Otherwise, they are almost like godly. Now, this is the definition of demigod and asura. All are living entities, and a demigod is actually obedient to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But at the same time, his or her nature to enjoy is always there, but still they are obedient. So ultimately, if there is a ban made by the authorities, like another devotee or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they beyond a point try to follow. Like we have seen these cases. It's not like they are perfect. In spite of being chastised by Lord Shiva many times, Indra again and again tried to do different things, but it is not like immediately, like we all do, right? They say Jagannath Rath Yatra, if you see Lord Jagannath on the Rath, then there is no more birth for us. But we then or we are immediately liberated. But you see, the next day morning, early morning, we have a severe headache. Why it happened? I am liberated. Why there is no karma for me? Why should I have a headache? This is there. Then the answer is that because the Shastric words are true. It is not like you are liberated the minute we see Jagannath on the Rath. That is period. And it is also mentioned, oh no, I didn't see it in Puri, I saw it only in Seshadripuram. No. It is also mentioned in the scriptures, wherever you see Lord Jagannath on the Rath, it is the same, and there is no difference between seeing Jagannath in Puri and Jagannath in this one. There is one nice pastime also. I think there was once upon a time, this is so in our Mayapur, we have this new Jagannath Dham. That temple's glories, I think there is something like that, and I was reading in that it was there. One person was going on a train for a long distance to reach to Jagannath Puri. So from, I don't know, maybe Kanyakumari to Jagannath Puri, possibly, I don't know. Or maybe from this side, Kashmir, from there Himalayas to Jagannath Puri. One of those long distance he was traveling. And while he was just sleeping on the train, he had a dream. He had a dream of Jagannath coming and telling him, why are you taking so much difficulty? Why are you taking so much difficulty? You just get down in the next station, and he gives some direction. You walk 1 kilometer down, take a right, some direction has been given. So the devotee immediately wakes up and he says, is it a dream or is it true? It looked like a vision to me like that. Then he normally we will, if I don't know, if I have to get a dream like that, I will think, okay, this is all a dream. I have spent so much time in reserving for the train and going to Jagannath Puri that, okay, this is all fine, but I don't want to miss going to Jagannath Puri. But this devotee had faith. He immediately got down in the next station and he walked whatever direction, that vision in which Lord Jagannath told him to walk. He walked and he went, and there, wherever it was right, left, he took the same direction and he landed up in a temple which is a Jagannath temple. So this is somewhere local. It is not a Jagannath temple where Puri, his destination was Puri, but he did not go there. There he saw Jagannath and he says he became immediately completely satisfied, like seeing the Jagannath in Puri. So this is the thing about seeing the Lord on the Jagannath particularly. When you see him, it is non-different from seeing that original Jagannath in original means everybody is original. That is what is the lesson that we learnt here. But the point is our karma will go away. It is given in the scriptures. But we need to believe this, right? If you don't believe, then there is one other pastime. Because this particular topic of this, the subterranean planets, it's more about, different planetary system, not much purport. So I will take some time off to try and talk about some of these pastimes. So one time Jagannath, one devotee was there. So he was very, very highly learned, very intelligent and all that stuff. But unfortunately, while he read all those things, while he understood the Sanskrit, everything, but he was not able to, because of his intelligence, right? It says no, Maya apahrita jnanam. That means when we are too much having this, even if we have knowledge, but when our knowledge is hijacked by this illusion, that even that gives us the intoxication that I know everything, I am such a great personality, there is nobody to beat me in this knowledge. Sometimes Prabhupada, there's one devotee, I think one of his disciples, so he was trying to, our Bhagavatam and all is there in Sanskrit, so we naturally get this tendency, I want to now become an expert in Sanskrit. So one devotee wanted to, learn Sanskrit very deeply, one Western devotee. So Prabhupada said, why? He said, no, then I can understand all scriptures, I can do all that. Prabhupada said, no, not necessary. Whatever Sanskrit you need, I have written there, you read that is enough. The idea is, so Prabhupada could read that, by that too much of, not that we should not read Sanskrit, but it is all about, the spiritual master knows what is a trap for each disciple. So there are some disciples who are very stable, very strong. So sometimes when they ask the spiritual master, I want to go to the Western world and study or something like that, he'll say, okay, you go ahead. To another disciple, he will say, no, why you want to go to America? No, you be in India. So there is, why is he saying it? He knows, I mean, he understands the nature of the person, that if he goes abroad, this fellow will become spoiled. So he doesn't give permission. Other fellow, he gives the permission like this. So Prabhupada also, maybe you would have thought, it is better for this gentleman not to become too much intelligent in terms of the knowledge or whatever. Then he said, better not to do that. So the point is, if someone has a lot of knowledge, that doesn't mean that they are very great, but it is about how much they are rooted in the parampara, in the acceptance of the scriptures under the directions of the bona fide spiritual master. So now, in this gentleman was not very much aligned to the scripture in words and deeds, but he understands the knowledge aspect, whatever you call it. So he thought, how is it that possible that if I take Jagannath darshan on the Rath, that or even take darshan of Jagannath, that my karma and all will go. This I am not very convinced. He was thinking like that. And he went to Jagannath Puri, he wanted to test that theory. So he goes to Jagannath Puri and he tries to enter the temple. So he stands in whatever queue, we don't know, sometimes we have to stand for long hours in the queue. He stands and then he goes into the, right about when he's about to enter that sanctum sanctorium or the what you call altar area, the door closes automatically. Then people were surprised, how is it that this door is closing, that Jagannath, so many people are waiting. So devotees try to push to open the door, it is not opening. So the whole day they all try, nothing happens. So then devotees are all anxious, what is this, why it has happened. And that night when the pujari's dream, the Lord appears and he asks Jagannath ji, why you are doing this? So many thousands of people are waiting to see, but the door is locked. There's some reason why you have locked it. Please tell us that. So the Lord says, see, there is this so-called, I forget his name, this scholar is there. He has this kind of non-belief that if he sees me, that the karma will go or not if he takes darshan of me. So I have purposefully closed the door so that he doesn't take darshan of me. And he tells him, tomorrow you tell that devotee to actually go away from Puri. Till he goes completely out of Puri, the door will not open. So the next day, the morning he comes, the pujari, and then he's asking, is there any, Madhav Das there? So he's shouting. And then this man very proudly puts up his hand, I am Madhav Das. So what do you, I have a message for you from the Lord. So then he immediately thinks, oh, I am, see, now I had all these things, I'm such a great scholar, and the Lord is now personally coming and giving me a message. And he says, can you come closer? I will tell you the message. But this man says, no, it's okay. You just let everybody hear the message, what the Lord has given to me, like that. He's very proud. He's thinking like that the Lord is actually going to glorify him or something like that. But then say, no, why don't you come closer? No, you just tell, it's okay, no problem, like that. So then the pujari says, the Lord said that first you need to get out of this place and go out of Puri, only then the door will open. The man was shocked and everybody was looking at him like, such a sinful person he is there. They were all trying to move away from that person like that. So he felt so ashamed. And then he says, why is it being, so many thousands are waiting, why only for me like this? Then he said, you doubted the scriptures and therefore the Lord doesn't want to give you darshan, doesn't want to associate with you like that. Then immediately he, naturally he becomes very, humbled. He felt humbled and he immediately falls down on the floor and prays to the Lord, please forgive me for this offense. And immediately the door opened. So the Jagannath is so merciful. Whatever it is, he told this fellow should be out of the entire Puri periphery at all. But the minute he he realized his mistake and sought forgiveness, immediately Jagannath opened the door and he could have darshan of the Lord. So this is the point what I was saying, that if you take darshan of the Lord on the Rath specifically, then you are becoming. Then why it doesn't happen is because we develop that our consciousness is so bad, even the next second I am thinking of so many other nonsense around. It's very subtle. Sometimes we may think, no, I never thought. If you sit back and think, I never thought anything, I never did anything. But it is so very subtle. There's so millions and millions of janmas of our conditioning. We keep on committing offenses one after the other, mentally and physically also. Then immediately, even if I'm standing on so many germs and things like that, right? Then the next step I take, after seeing Jagannath, I just turn around, I put one leg on the left side, I am killing so many other germs there. So that is the reason why, we sometimes, even after seeing Jagannath, we feel like our karma is affecting us. So, but we should understand, maybe at that point in second, if I have a heart attack and die, maybe, I will go back to Godhead. But because I am alive, I commit so many other mistakes and karma comes in different forms and shapes. So this is, we need to understand. Now the point we were talking was that the demigods, even though they have direct association with the Lord sometimes, like Indradev, but again he offends the Lord. So that is the point I was trying to come to, that okay, you are having direct darshan of the Lord, you are talking to him and all that, then why will you go and commit another offense later? You saw that, right? One is that the Govardhan Leela. The other is that Parijata, when the Lord, he helped him, this fellow, he killed that so many, the Rakshasa who gave so much of trouble. And he even got his mother's, the nose ring or whatever, which is supposed to be a very valuable thing. And the Lord brings and gives it to him. Should be grateful, right? The Lord coming and giving what is, actually that pride of Indra was lost when that fellow took his mother's ring and went. He didn't have the guts to go and to that Asura and to take it back, saying this is my mother's, you give it. He didn't have the guts to stop that fellow from taking it and going away. So he lost his pride. But that Lord mercifully brings that ring back to this Indra and gives it, here is your pride back. Here is your mother's nose ring. But he should be grateful. But the Lord, while going back, takes one Parijata from his garden and goes and he takes offense. Oh, it is mine, how can you take that? So what I am saying is, all jivas have this thing, while sometimes we feel, when we see Jagannath or when we hear some pastimes, when we hear some classes, sometimes tears come from our eyes. So we are purified. But the next second, our anarthas take over. So this is the problem. So the demigods are actually people who are also like that, but only thing is they are still surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the Asuras, on the other hand, are inimical to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are all that, these fellows are also envious, right? Devatas are also envious. That is why Indra fought against Krishna. How can Krishna be the king? How can Krishna be the Superman? I should be the Superman in this universe. That kind of mindset. But still, at least when the Lord puts him in place, we immediately say, sorry Krishna, forgive me. Brahma also did that, right? That Brahma Vimohan Leela. But they have that mindset of immediately surrendering. But the Asuras don't have that quality, and therefore the difference between Asura and the demigods, the Devatas, are simply that the Devatas are in a way surrendered to the Lord, while the demigods never surrendered to the Asuras never surrendered to the God, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In that sense, that's why it is said, even devotees, they are almost like Devatas. Okay, materially I may not be powerful. I mean, I'm talking about all of you. You may not be very powerful like Indra or Chandra, but that qualification is will come and go, right? One time you may be born as a great scientist. You may control the wind. You may control the ocean. Everything that is possible with material qualification. But in terms of the quality, the devotees are like Devatas. Like, that is why the Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namanam. This The devotees are like kalpavrikshas. They are desire-giving trees. It is not that they can manifest it themselves, but by their mercy, when they think favorable of the other jiva who is actually trying to please them, the Lord is pleased. So that is the important of why we need to please the spiritual master, the pure devotees of the Lord. How we can serve in a way that they become pleased. And if they are pleased, then Krishna is pleased. So this is very important. Prabhupada once, so they were saying, Prabhupada, we know, so the disciples are, many disciples are there. So Prabhupada sometimes when he sees a disciple, he will say, like one time there was one devotee who wanted to leave ISKCON, right? So he was very, whatever, we all have challenges in our, in our environment, in our devotional service. There are so many. We interact with so many devotees. Sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't like it. And some devotees trouble us also. So many things happen. So what happens is sometimes, this devotee was not able to cope up. Like so many challenges are there in here. Let's better be outside only. Why to be there? So he was thinking like that and going to Prabhupada. But it's not like easy to talk to Prabhupada and say, Prabhupada, I am leaving, right? It's not easy because they are all very emotionally connected to Prabhupada. It's not easy. Such a decision for that devotee, it's not something which he would have, he didn't want to, but maybe because he was not able to, fit in that situation, he was feeling pressed to say that I want to leave. So he was thinking, one day finally got the courage, got appointment of Prabhupada, said I will meet Prabhupada and so on. So time his secretary said, okay, you can come and meet him. So he went. So he went and sat he sat in front of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada just looks at him directly into the eyes and says, so, you want to leave? Right? It's shocking how Prabhupada knew all these things, right? And then Prabhupada counsels him. And he didn't utter one word at all. He went to tell all these things, but he didn't utter one word. He just went there. Prabhupada told what he wanted. Prabhupada said why it is a foolish decision that he should not do. And then the devotee paid obeisances and left the place. So now the question comes, how does Prabhupada know? And we can see many stories of our own spiritual master. For me, Iswara Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, many devotees talk about these things. When you hear this Throwback Thursday, you are amazed to hear such pastimes. I know there's one time one lady who was supposed to get initiation the next day. But Guru Maharaj saw her and said, you don't take tomorrow. Why? You have eaten fish. How did he know? And one lady, I think, like we asked, right, initiation time, they asked, tell me the tilak mantra you wear in all parts of your body. So one lady was, we know how our ladies are, like they are covered from head to thing, all the entire body is nicely covered. So this lady was walking around, tomorrow is initiation or something like that, she was walking around and all that, and Guru Maharaj called her and said, why are you not wearing tilak all over, all this one? How will he know? So sometimes we think that these pure devotees, they actually physically know like this. So someone asked Prabhupada, so Prabhupada, so you know everything about all our disciples, like it's like almost like God, right? That you know what has happened in the past, what is happening in the present, what will happen in the future. So Prabhupada said, actually I don't know, but Krishna reveals what I should know about that devotee. This is very powerful. He says, I don't know. That means as a person, I am not a Superman. Prabhupada is a Superman, we all know that, but he never, but how he is Superman, he is telling. That is because Krishna, I am in connect with Krishna, Krishna keeps telling me everything. So this is the point. So now, if these devotees, when they say Vancha Kalpatarubhisha, I started off there, how is it that they don't have the power to give some benediction, but that benediction is given by the Supreme Lord? Why? Because my devotee is pleased and he is wishing for the other devotee. So You please that devotee, and that devotee says, yes, I wish Krishna gives you this benefit. Then Krishna immediately sanctions that. So this is very important. That devotees are the devatas are mindful of that they are always surrendered, but they also have this, that enjoyment thing. But the Asuras, they only have this, what do you call this, that, who are you? Why I should bother about you? I don't believe in you. I envy. It's basically, he has core envy and no surrender mindset. But Devata has envy, but has that mindset to also subordinate himself or herself to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in that sense, the Devatas are favored by the Lord, because we are all right all the time. We are never pure. But the Lord is merciful on us. Even on the Asuras, He is merciful. It's not like He is not merciful on the Asuras. It is all about whether you want to take the mercy or not. As simple as that. Mercy is always there. The Lord says, Samoham, I am always equal to everyone. It is not like I am partial to Devatas or impartial to, I am against the Asuras. He is actually completely neutral to everyone. So that mercy is always there, but the Devatas or the devotees, they actually receive the mercy, but the Asuras reject the mercy. So now in that sense, this Rahu, he simply want to take the benefit but didn't want to surrender to the Lord. And as a result, and he tried to trouble the sun and the moon, and therefore he got killed by the Sudarshana Chakra. And it is also mentioned now that eclipse is actually related to this particular vengeance, right? You guys actually exposed me the other day and made me to separate into two parts. And that's why that, he swallows the sun or the moon, and because he is open, right? The head is there, but here there's an open. So the sun goes like this and comes out like this. Like that. Similarly, even the other side of the body, if he's taking it in, it can always come out because this side is open. They can come out. So this is the history of whatever, the solar and lunar eclipse, even though our way of saying it is different. Our means the modern scientific way. But this is because of the Ragu's inimical mindset towards the Lord. But I have also heard, in the chart, the Ragu Ketu is very, this one, make a lot of difference to that particular jatak. That means to the horoscope of a person. If Ketu is in the 12th house, then it is said the person that is the last life. So that means he gives salvation. If he is in the 12th house, then that person will attain salvation at the end of this life. Some of these things are like that. If the Rahu is in the 7th house, sometimes the family life will not be very good, and many combinations and permutations are there. But these two are actually Asura planets, and they form part of the horoscope charts. So that we are now seeing. We will see the next verse. Below Rahu by 10,000 yojanas are the planet known as Siddhaloka, Charanaloka and Vidyadhara Loka. We have heard these things, right? Very often Siddhaloka, Charanaloka are very powerful planets, and the people in these lokas are all very powerful personalities. It is said, Prabhupada's purport, it is said that the residents of Siddhaloka, being naturally endowed with the powers of yogis, can go from one planet to another by their natural mystic power without using airplanes or similar machines. So space travel is possible for the Loka personalities. That means they have Siddhi. That's why we say no Siddhi. We see also here in this planetary system, many people have these Siddhic powers. There was one, Radhanath Maharaj had written in his book, The Journey Back Home. Right? Many of you would have already read it. So there, he writes, when he was in the Himalayas, there was one very powerful Siddhi. I mean, one powerful who possessed these what do you call these opulence of magic, whatever you call it. Um, so he once called all the people because they are in the Himalayas, right? They don't come down at all. He once came down where more people are there, like came down from the Himalayas, and many people assembled. Oh, a great yogi has come, just like we all try to see these magic shows, right? People have these magic shows, and people pay money to go and sit in this magic show, get to be cheated, right? He will suddenly show a hat which has got nothing in it. He will ask you to come and check, is there anything? They put our hand and say nothing is there. Then he will suddenly pull a rabbit from it, and you all, wow, oh, what a magic, So it is not like he has created a rabbit. He has fooled us. See, that is the whole thing. Magic is all about how you can fool without the person knowing. And that way in Kali Yuga, all of us are fooled every minute. So everybody is a magician, right? We keep fooling each other, and I'm supposed to be looked at as a big magician that way. But coming back to the main, this one, so this siddhas are all something like that. But the actual siddhas are even more than what these modern magicians do. There maybe they are able to manifest some things which are real also, possibly, because there are some munis, they can actually create a universe. It is not some illusion. They can create a universe. We know, right? The Vishwamitra, because Indra did not allow this what is his name? One person who wanted to go to Indra Loka, but he did not get the visa. Indra did not allow him to get. Trisanku, his name is. So he did not get the the permission to enter Indra Loka. Therefore, Vishwamitra felt it bad. I have promised this fellow a planet, like the Indra Loka, entry into Indra Loka, the visa to Indra Loka, but Indra is not accepting it. It sometimes happens, right? Sometimes people go to US and then after reaching there, they say, sorry, your visa, we are not actually, it's not valid. You go back to wherever you came from. So like this Trishanku went, and there Indra rejected and sent him back. So he kept going up and down. Therefore, Vishwamitra Muni finally decided, no, this fellow is not accepting there. But my ego is big. I have said, I'll make you go into Swarga Loka, then how it cannot happen? Therefore, he created with all his powers, he created one planet equal to Indra Loka and made this fellow go and sit there. Now, this is Indra Loka for you, you enjoy. Then Indra then came down and compromised, because he didn't want a parallel government, right? One more Indra Loka means Indra's power is diminished. So he comes and creates he makes a deal, like our Trump says, make a deal. So he makes a deal with Vishwamitra, and whatever happens. So the point here is they can actually create real things, not this kind of cheating. But nonetheless, this Siddha who came down and then he made some magic, like he took out some linga from his mouth, and many things he did, and people were all astonished. They were saying, wow, what a great personality you are. But then he actually smiled it away and said, this is all nothing compared to what we really get in real spiritual life. And he just walked away back into the mountains. So this Radhanath Maharaj has written in that book that you may have all these opulences, but it is absolutely useless beyond a point in time. So, but nonetheless, there are people who have such desires that I want to be a great magician, I want to be appreciated by all people. Okay, you go to Siddha Loka, right? Of course, to be having such opulences, you should also have a lot of positive karma. I can desire to be the president of this country. That is all nice, but I need to also do a set of good karma to become the president of this country. So that is also there, a combination of all the desire and the acts. Both together give us whatever destiny that we want to get. But as devotees, we don't want any of these things. We simply want the lotus feet of the lotus feet of the pure devotee of the Lord. Service to the lotus feet of the pure devotee of the Lord. That is the only prayer for all the great Vaishnavas. They are all praying let me be grass. Let me be grass in a dham where devotees will come and walk over me. Or let me be the step, when you enter the altar, that step which is the last step inside to go inside the altar, you will sometimes see like few devotees lying down there. Like they would have put a painting, or they would have put a embossing of devotees lying down there. These are not simply some sentiment. It is fact that when devotees lotus feet touch my body, then I am, the kind of benefit that I get is humongous. I can't even imagine that. That's why we say, take the dust of the lotus feet of the spiritual master, take the dust of the pure devotees of the Lord. We don't know. We think, oh, this is what, it is all sentiment. No, it is not sentiment. It gives those benefits which we can't even measure. So now here, this Siddhaloka, these are very powerful personalities who are yogis, and they can go from one planet to another, is being mentioned, and they don't need an airplane to go there. Next verse. Beneath Vidyadhara Loka, Charana Loka and Siddha Loka in the sky called Antariksha are the places of enjoyment for the Yakshas, Rakshasas, Pishachas, ghosts and so on. Antariksha extends as far as the wind blows and the clouds float in the sky. Above this, there is no more air. Okay, so this is fine. So the point is, there are different planetary system. There are different kinds of people with different desires. And the Lord is so extensive that there is no limit to His ability to satisfy anybody's desire, whatever extent it can be. So we can think, I have unlimited desires. But the Lord has got unlimited ability to satisfy these desires. Just imagine this. There are trillions of, you can't even measure the jivas, including the amoebas and all these so many small microorganisms. Everything is jiva, life. Everything has a desire. And each desire is so different that it may not be compatible in one place to another. But the Lord is so magnanimous. He gives so much of facility for every single jiva. No, we all form, a government, and we give, all this state of people like this. But the Lord goes down to individual level. Right? We can see this. Lord Rama, if one person, in that kingdom, so many lakhs and trillions of people are there in every, Rajya, that means every kingdom. But Rama could understand the problem with one guy, and then he can solve his problem. Can we think of the modern governments doing it? We do bulk, this scheme, that scheme. Okay, all these fellows who are within the income group of so and so, you benefit. But most people don't get the benefit. That's a different story. But there in those days, or when there were Vedic times, every single individual mattered. And they could actually address each one of them. I don't know how they had the time to do that, but they did it. So this is how the Lord's creation is. We can only look at it in awe and reverence. I was today morning, before I got up, I was thinking of the globe, because this is going on in my head, right? That today. So this globe is so thin, and you see how many millions and trillions of water, liters of water is there in this portion of, let's say this is around this portion of earth. How many trillions of liters of water are there? And since it is down and facing down, should the water not fall down? I mean, you can understand if it is a small thing, you can hold it. But trillions and trillions of liters of water, but it is clinging on to the surface of the earth and not falling down. Can you imagine how this is all possible? Mind-boggling. But the Lord makes it all like, without even thinking. He says, I wish, and it happens. Next. Below the abodes of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, by the distance of 100 yojanas, 800 miles, is the planet Earth. Its upper limit extends as high as swans, hawks, eagles, and similar large birds can fly. So that definition of the upper limit of Earth is basically only up to the point where the hawks and maybe the eagles, we know of some eagles, right, which can fly the furthest. So we are able to that much is the extent of the earth. Beyond that, it is space. Okay, then next. My dear king, beneath this earth are 7 other planets known as Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala and Patala. This is 7. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. So in the 14 planetary systems, earth is supposed to be the middle, and below that there are 7 planetary systems. These 7 are these things, these planetary systems. I have already explained the situation of the planetary systems of earth. The width and length of the 7 lower planetary systems are calculated to be exactly the same as those of earth. So all these planetary systems below are all the same size, width and length that is being given. Next. In these 7 planetary systems, which are also known as the subterranean heavens, Bilaswarga, there are very beautiful houses, gardens and places of sense enjoyment, which are even more opulent than those in the higher planets, because the demons have a very high standard of sensual pleasure, wealth and influence. Most of the residents of these planets, who are known as Daityas, Dhanavas and Nagas, live as householders. Their wives, children, friends and society are all fully engaged in illusory material happiness. The sense enjoyment of the demigods is sometimes disturbed, but the residents of these planets enjoy life without disturbances. Thus, they are understood to be very attached to illusory happiness. Let's read Prabhupada's property. Very interesting, right? We all thought, it is a curse to become asura. Reading this, one can maybe think, it is, if you are very much interested in sense gratification, maybe I should become an asura. I mean, that's understood, right? We all understand, by dint of wanting to be materially opulent, or not opulent, having more sense gratification by nature, that asuric tendency is there. But here it is mentioned these asuras enjoy life so very much. Let's read the purport once. According to the statements of Prahalad Maharaj, material enjoyment is Maya Sukha, illusory enjoyment. A Vaishnava is full of anxiety for the deliverance of all living entities from such false enjoyment. Prahalad Maharaja says, Maya Sukhaya Bharam Udvahato Vimudhan. These fools, Vimudas, are engaged in material happiness which is surely temporary. Whether in the heavenly planets, the lower planets or the earthly planets, people are engrossed in temporary material happiness, forgetting that in due course of time they have to engage their bodies according to the material laws and suffer the repetition of birth, death, old age and disease. Not caring what will happen in the next birth, gross materialists are simply busy enjoying during the present short span of life. A Vaishnava is always anxious to give all such bewildered materialists the real happiness of spiritual bliss. So this is the learning. It is all there. So great, wonderful place. He says, no, this is very interesting, right? Even the Devatas are put into trouble because their enjoyment is also restricted naturally by the Asuras, right? Many times the Indras and the Chandras of the world have to go into hiding because the demons are attacking. But if you look at the demons, there is no competition. No Devata goes to try and occupy a demon's position. They are protecting what they have, but they don't try to generally take from the other people. But these demons want to take from the other people, and they are themselves very happy because there's no threat for them, technically speaking. Unless they attack someone, then the Lord attacks them. Otherwise these fellows are actually happy. That is what is given here, that they are very blissfully enjoying their material life. They are all householders and etc. like this. But this Prahalad Maharaj, Prabhupada bringing us to this consciousness, okay, all this is nice. Don't get carried away, don't want to become don't try to think that therefore it is given in Bhagavatam that the demons are all very happy. So my purpose is to become happy, so let me try to become sense enjoyer, let me become demoniac. That is why Prabhupada gives this Prahalad Maharaj pastime where he is saying that ultimately all these things is useless. I can feel puffed up, like Prabhupada says, puffed up for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, maybe 100 years. Right? If some people are born in a very great family, everything is so great. Through their life they enjoy, they live a good, healthy life. 100 years, great. 110 years, also great. But after that, so that question comes, and Prabhupada is bringing that into perspective. Don't get carried away by these material opulences. Use everything in the service of Krishna, and your idea should be how to deliver the people who are living in this illusion that I can permanently be happy. So this is the power of Prabhupada's teachings, that he always brings us things to the perspective. Whatever material things are shown, but how do we see all of these things? Next. My dear king, in the imitation heaven known as Bilaswarga, there is a great demon named Maya Dhanava, who is an expert artist and architect. He has constructed many brilliantly decorated cities. There are many wonderful houses, walls, gates, assembly houses, temples, yards and temple compounds, as well as many hotels serving as residential quarters for foreigners. The houses for the leaders of these planets are constructed with the most valuable jewels, and they are always crowded with living entities known as Nagas and Asuras, as well as many pigeons, parrots and similar birds. All in all, these imitation heavenly cities are most beautifully situated and attractively decorated. We'll go to the next. The parks and gardens in the artificial heavens surpass in beauty those of the upper heavenly planets. The trees in those gardens, embraced by creepers, bend with a heavy burden of twigs with fruits and flowers, and therefore they appear extraordinarily beautiful. That beauty could attract anyone and make his mind fully blossom in the pleasure of sense gratification. There are many lakes and reservoirs with clear, transparent water, agitated by jumping fish and decorated with many flowers such as lilies, kuvalayas, kalaras and blue and red lotuses. Pairs of chakravakas and many other water birds nest in the lakes and always enjoy in a happy mood, making sweet, pleasing vibrations that are very satisfying and conducive to enjoyment of the senses. All this in the lower planetary system. Next, since there is no sunshine in those subterranean planets, time is not divided into days and nights, and consequently fear produced by time does not exist. Very powerful, huh? So there is no day and night to distinguish. Therefore, you don't know I am so many years old. You can't count in terms of the day or nights, how many days have passed till I was born, right? So many years I am alive. You can't say that in one sense here. Therefore, there is no fear of death in their mind. Very, very poetic if you really see. Only because, as I say, I am now whatever, you are 50, 52, 58, 60. Oh, one more year has gone, I am closer to death. Here there is no thought about that at all. So, this is intoxicating in that sense from a materialistic point of view. Many great serpents reside there with gems on their hoods, and the effulgences of these gems dissipate the darkness in all directions. So here it is mentioned, right? In these lokas, the sun's rays does not penetrate because it is too far away. The sun's rays does not penetrate, but it has all opulences. But because the sun's rays are not there, these snakes have such effulgences in their head, whatever gems that they carry in their head, they are so effulgent that it illuminates that entire planet. Just imagine you are there in a room lit by a snake sitting somewhere. Can you sleep in that room? I don't know, in our consciousness, if there's a snake somewhere here, I won't be here, I would have run away. But there's a snake which is giving light for you, right? These are things which we can't even imagine in our head. Next. Since the residents of these planets drink and bathe in juices and elixirs made from wonderful herbs, they are freed from all anxieties and physical diseases. They have no experience of grey hair, wrinkles, or invalidity. Their bodily lustures do not fade. Their perspiration does not cause a bad smell, and they are not troubled by fatigue or by lack of energy or enthusiasm due to old age. Yeah, amazing, right? But we call them demons. Yeah. Demon means it is not like, okay, they look ugly or whatever. It is the consciousness. They are very opulent. They are very beautiful. See, it says they don't even perspire. They don't have the smell also there. When they come nearby, sometimes people close their nose because the smell is so bad, their bodily odor. But you see here, these fellows don't even have any of these bodily odors, which is bad. So Asuras means not, Ravana is supposed to be very handsome. It's not like you see Ravana with the teeth jetting out and all that. He's a very, very handsome guy. But the Asura is defined by the mindset, not by the features of the person. Next. They live very auspiciously and do not fear death from anything but death's established time, which is the effulgence of the Sudarshana Chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So ultimately for them, it is not by the age they will die. Sudarshana Chakra is their actual death personified. So these Asuras are all killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in different forms, because they are inimical to the Devatas. They go and attack them. In the process, they get killed. If they don't do any of these things, they looks like death is literally not there for them. So I quickly read the translation. This is the defect of material existence. Everything in the subterranean heavens is very nicely arranged. There are very well situated residential quarters. There is a pleasing atmosphere, and there are no bodily inconveniences or mental anxieties. But nevertheless, those who live there have to take another birth according to karma. Persons whose minds are dull cannot understand this defect of a materialistic civilization. Aiming at material comfort, one may make his living condition very pleasing for the senses, but despite all favorable conditions, one must in due course of time meet death. The members of a demoniac civilization endeavor to make their living condition very comfortable, but they cannot check death. The influence of the Sudarshana Chakra will not allow their so-called material happiness to endure. Next. When the Sudarshana disc enters those provinces, the pregnant wives of the demons all have miscarriages due to fear of its effulgence. So we know this, right? When the Lord protects the Devatas, Sudarshana Chakra enters into their lokas and finishes all them. Some even in the womb itself is killed. Next, we are in the 16th verse, 2 more verses to go. My dear king, now I shall describe to you the lower planetary systems one by one, beginning from Atala. In Atala there is a demon, the son of Mayadhanava named Bala, who created 96 kinds of mystic powers. Some so-called yogis and swamis take advantage of this mystic power to cheat people even today. Simply by yawning, the demon Bala created 3 kinds of women known as Swairini, Kamini and Pumshkali. The Swairinis like to marry men from their own group. The Kaminis marry men from any group, and the Pumshkalis change husbands one after another. If a man enters the planet of Atala, these women immediately capture him and induce him to drink an intoxicating beverage made with a drug known as Hataka, cannabis indica, Prabhupada writes. This intoxication endows the man with great sexual prowess, of which the woman take advantage for enjoyment. A woman will enchant him with attractive glances, intimate words, smiles of love, and then embraces. In this way, she induces him to enjoy sex with her to her full satisfaction. Because of his increased sexual power, the man thinks himself stronger than 10,000 elephants and considers himself most perfect. Indeed, illusion and intoxicated by false pride, he thinks himself God, ignoring impending death. So, next verse. The next planet below Atala is Vitala, wherein Lord Shiva, who is known as the master of gold mines, lives with his personal associates, the ghosts and similar living entities. Lord Shiva, as the progenitor, engages in sex with Bhavani, the progenitress, to produce living entities. And from the mixture of their vital fluids, the river named Hathaki is generated. When fire being made to blaze by the wind drinks of this river and then sizzles and spits it out, it produces gold called Hataka. The demons who live on that planet with their wives decorate themselves with various ornaments made from that gold, and thus they live there very happily. Okay. Prabhupada writes, I will read the purport quickly. Give me another 2-3 minutes, we will end. It appears that when Bhava and Bhavani, Lord Shiva and his wife, unite sexually, the emulsification of their secretions create a chemical which, when heated by fire, can produce gold. It is said that the alchemists of the medieval age tried to prepare gold from base metal, and Srila Sanatana Goswami also states that when bell metal is treated with mercury, it can produce gold. Srila Sanatana Goswami mentions this in regard to the initiation of low-class men to turn them into Brahmanas. Sanatana Goswami said, Yatha kanchanatham yati kamsyam rasa vidanataha tata diksha vidanena dvijatvam jayate nrinam. As one can transform kamsa or bell metal into gold by treating it with mercury, one can also turn a low-born man into a Brahmana by initiating him properly into Vaishnava activities. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is trying to turn Malechas and Yavanas into real Brahmanas by properly initiating them and stopping them from engaging in meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex and gambling. One who stops these 4 principles of sinful activity and chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra can certainly become a pure Brahmana through the process of bona fide initiation as suggested by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Apart from this, if one takes a hint from this verse and learns how to mix mercury with bell metal by properly heating and melting them, one can get gold very cheaply. The alchemists of the medieval age tried to manufacture gold, but they were unsuccessful, perhaps because they did not follow the right instructions. So, this is self-explanatory. How we can also get purified into gold. Gold means not the physical material gold, but become a Brahmana. So, in Kali Yuga, everyone is born Shudra, Kali Shudra Sambhavaha. So, didn't everyone, like Prabhupada says, practically everyone is actually a Shudra. But by the proper system of following the regulative principles of no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling, a person can elevate himself to the position of a Brahmana under the guidance of a proper bona fide spiritual master. So this is important. The last verse. Below the planet Vitala is another planet known as Sutala, where the great son of Maharaja Virochana, Bali Maharaja, who is celebrated as the most pious king, resides even now. For the welfare of Indra, the king of heaven, Lord Vishnu appeared in the form of a dwarf brahmachari as the son of Aditi and tricked Bali Maharaja by begging for only 3 paces of land, but taking all the 3 worlds. Being very pleased with Bali Maharaja for giving all his possessions, the Lord returned his kingdom and made him richer than the opulent King Indra. Even now, Bali Maharaja engages in devotional service by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the planet of Sutala. I will also read this purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is described as Uttama Shloka, he who is worshipped by the best of selected Sanskrit verses. And his devotees such as Bali Maharaja are also worshipped by Punya Shloka, verses that increases one's piety. So if you glorify a pure devotee, you get piety. So when we glorify Srila Prabhupada, when we glorify our spiritual master, we get piety. Bali Maharaja offered everything to the Lord, his wealth, his kingdom, and even his own body. Sarvatma Nivedana Balihi. The Lord appeared before Bali Maharaja as a Brahmana beggar, and Bali Maharaja gave him everything he had. However, Bali Maharaja did not become poor. By donating all his possession to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he became a successful devotee and got everything back again with the blessings of the Lord. Similarly, those who give contributions to expand the activities of Krishna consciousness movement and to accomplish its objectives will never be losers. Very powerful statement. They will get their wealth back with the blessings of Lord Krishna. On the other side, those who collect contributions on behalf of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness should be very careful not to use even a farthing of the collections for any purpose other than the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Prabhupada is making this very clear that Krishna's money, those who are in charge of the money of Krishna, that means in our organizations, right, ISKCON or whatever, we may have different roles, and in the process we may collect some donation. Never forget to put it, back into the account of the Lord. Sometimes we put it in our pocket and forget it. Then it's a big offense. That, it's Krishna's money. Already we are using so much of Krishna's thing without thanking him, right? That itself is bringing in so much karma. Now here this is directly given to the Lord, and if somehow even by forgetfulness we take it off, we use it for our personal purpose, that is the biggest thing. So with that I end here. If there are any questions, comments, welcome. Hare Krishna.